All right, so today we're going to be talking about how to capture changes to tables using database triggers, and more specifically, the inserted and deleted tables. All right, so today we're going to be talking about database triggers and really how to react to changes in the database. So let's jump in here. So the table we're going to be using here is a simple table. So it's account balance table. It's got two columns, account number and the balance. And the situation is we're going to suppose that when a customer's account balance exceeds $1,000, we're going to do something. We'll add a record to another table to log that entry or to log that event. So that's how. So we're going to respond to changes in the database, okay? And we're going to use database triggers. So let's go ahead and create a database trigger on our account balance table. So we'll go down to triggers. We'll type new trigger. Now, quickly, one thing I want to show you that's kind of neat that most people, from what I've seen, don't use is when you create a new trigger, store procedure, whatever, you've probably seen this before. It creates a little template here that you can change and fill it in with your values, right? But if you do, and it even says here, if you do Control-Shift-M, so Control-Shift-M, it'll bring up this window here, and you can just fill in the parameters, right? So you could fill in things like author, creation date, right? Whatever the date is. It's not actually the date, but okay. Description, right? Account balance trigger. Okay. Schema is going to be DBO. The trigger name, we'll give it a name. We'll say capture high balance accounts. All right. The table name. So the table we're going to be using is account balance. Oops. Right. Now the next thing is data modification statements, right? So do we want this trigger, right, to execute upon insert, delete, or update? All three, some combination of the three, right? So in our case, we're only concerned about accounts that have balances. So if you're deleting an account from this table, we don't care about it, right? We want to see accounts that have balances greater than $1,000. So we don't need delete. What we want to capture is inserts or updates, right? So that's what we're going to type here. And when you press OK, now it fills all that in for you, right? Because sometimes the template can be confusing to look at. So just a little quick tip here, right? All right, so let's dive in here. So what we want to do is, when you're working with triggers, okay, there are two tables that you should be concerned about, and these are system tables, we'll call them, right? Inserted and delete. Okay, these are literally tables. Inserted and deleted, I believe is the name. Okay, so when this trigger executes, inserted, and don't be confused by the names. Inserted will not only have records that were inserted, it will also have records that were updated. And deleted will contain any records that were deleted. But really, the way you should think of it is before and after is how I like to think of it. Because the table names inserted and deleted, these will be mirror images of the account balance table. And let me show you what I mean. So here's what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to create a simple trigger here. And we're going to say select star into. Okay, and we're gonna have this trigger run once just to create a table, so I can show you what I mean. All right, into let's say account balance inserted. Okay, and we'll say from. Now look, it came up as a table inserted. Okay, these tables are only available inside this trigger. All right, but we're gonna capture it and create another table out of it, so I can show you what it looks like. Again, it's gonna be a mirror image of our account balance table. Now let's do the same thing from deleted. Star, and we'll copy this into account balance deleted from deleted. Okay, so these are the two tables that get created here. Okay, so let's go ahead and execute this so we can create our trigger. All right, great. Now let's create a new query. Okay, and let's select star from account balance. Let's take a look at this. All right, so now let's just update a record. Okay, let's update account balance, set balance equal to balance plus 100. And we'll increase every account by $100. All right, so now we're going to execute our statement here. Okay, 7 rows were affected, but now I'm going to refresh my tables on the left here. All right, and you'll see we have our 2 new tables, account balance deleted and account balance inserted. Now let's take a look at what's in those tables. Let's take a look at, first we'll take a look at inserted. All right. Now you can see these are our new account balances, right? And this table was just created from the trigger, and it's a mirror copy of our account balance table, okay? So whenever you execute a database trigger and you use those inserted or deleted tables, they're always going to be a mirror image of the table that the trigger is running under, right? All right, let's take a look at deleted, and let's see what we have there. Deleted, let's run these together. All right, now if you look, remember I said deleted and inserted, the names can be deceiving? Well, here's deleted does not have records that were deleted. It will, if you delete records, it will contain records that were deleted. But in this case, it's really a before and an after, right? You'll see every account is $100 more in the inserted table, which is at the top here, and $100 less, or the original balance in the table at the bottom here, which is the deleted table, right? So the deleted table is your before, the inserted table has your after, right? Or what it looks like after the statement was run, okay? So that's inserted and deleted, okay? All right, so now jumping back over to our trigger, let's do something a little more useful, all right? So what I've done here is I've created a table here on the left called high account balances, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna log any account balance greater than whatever, $1,000, let's just say, to this table, okay? So we're gonna log the account number, the balance, and the username, all right? So let's delete what we have in this trigger now, all right? And we're gonna say insert into high account balance. Let's pick our columns here. We want account number, balance, and username. All right, now we're going to select account number and balance from inserted. We'll say where the balance is greater than equal to 1,000. Okay, now for the username, all right, we're going to capture the system variable system user. Okay, that'll give us the current username. All right, maybe there's people making changes to user account balances, and you want to know who that is on certain accounts. Okay, all right, so let's execute our trigger, apply it. Okay, so we've applied those changes. All right, so now let's make some changes to our table, and let's see our trigger in action here. All right. So now I've got two queries here. Let's take a look at our account balances and where they are. All right. So let's modify these last 2 accounts, 4 and 5. We're going to add $100 to them. All right. So account 4 is going to go from $350 to $450. So that should not be in our new table. And account 5 is going to go from $950 to over 1,000. So that should be in our new table. All right. Let's make sure our new table high account balances is empty by running this query. And it is. All right, so now let's write our update statement. So we're going to update account balance table. We're going to set the balance equal to the balance plus 100. All right, where the account number is in 4 and 5. All right, so we're going to update these 2 accounts. Let's run it. Great. Now our trigger should have executed. Now let's go back and check our high account balance table, and we should only see account number 5. And in fact, we do. So we know our trigger has worked. It did not insert account number 4 because it wasn't above 1,000, and it did insert account 5 because it is above 1,000. And it also logged our username. So that's great. So that worked. So those are database triggers. Thanks so much for watching, but please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell.